Jim Benning will not be going to Toronto for the draft lottery, but instead he'll watch on TV. Jim, are there any nerves or anxiety at this time getting set for this?
Well, it's going to be an exciting, I think, time for us. We've done our work going into this whole process, and we'll just wait and see how it unfolds. But the worst we can end up is sixth in the lottery, and we're going to get a real good player, we feel, in the top six. So it would be nice, to get the first or second or even end up in the third hole, but we're prepared if we end up 4, 5, or 6.
Third best odds to get the number 1 pick. If you did fall out of the top 3, would that be a significant blow?
Well, I think what happens with that is the top 3 players in this year's draft, I feel, can step right in and contribute to winning next year. And then, the 4th, 5th, and 6th picks, I think, still need some time to develop. So if you end up with a top 3 pick, you're getting, I feel, a franchise-type player and a player that can play on your team next season.
You said earlier this season that defenseman is something the team needs for organizational depth. Is there a defenseman that can be taken 4 through 6?
Yeah, there is. We got our amateur meetings coming up here in the next couple weeks, but we've done our homework on this, and we feel like in the top 6 there'll be one defenseman that we have our eye on, and if he's there, we take him.
In your mind, has Laine at all challenged Matthews for the top overall pick with what he's done over the last month?
Well, he's had a hell of a finish, to win the MVP and the Finnish Elite League as a 18-year-old is quite an accomplishment. So he's, his individual skill and his release on his shot are top notch. So, for us, we would look probably positionally to, we feel like Matthews could be a number 1 center iceman in the league someday. So, but we're not going to close anything off. We're going to keep watching these guys, and we have our meetings coming up, and then we're going to figure out where we pick, and then we'll make the appropriate assumption on who we're going to take when we know where we're picking.
So if it's the best player available at 1, 2, or 3, do you take that to 4? Where would you end up thinking about perhaps a defenseman?
Well, we're going to take the best player available, because we pick so high that we feel like the player that we get is going to have a huge impact on our organization going forward. So we're going to go with that strategy, and we feel like I said in the top 6 there's a defenseman, and if we pick 5 or 6, then we'll look to take that defenseman.
Once this lottery is done, will that help set up the next month in terms of organizational plans and what you guys have to focus on?
Yeah, right now we're very excited about the lottery coming up this weekend. It's going to be it's a big, important time for our organization. We're going to end up with a good player out of it. So we're focusing on that right now, and then after that's done, we're going to get focusing on the draft and then free agency.
I heard you joke that you'd played the draft simulator a couple of times. Have you been lucky with the Canucks on the roll of the dice?
Well, I did a radio interview last week, and for 2 hours one night I played it, and I didn't have much luck picking in the top 3. So the next morning I got up and I did it 10 more times, and we picked 3 of the 10 times. So then I just stopped there. I don't play it right now.
I know the Flames are sending Berkey for the luck of the Irish. Is there a reason why Trevor's going? Is there a lucky component?
Well, Trevor's our lucky charm. So, it's going to be exciting for him to be there to represent our organization. And we hope, I kid him every day, I hope that he has the luck to get that pick for us.
Finally, if you do wind up in the top 3, are you confident one of Puljujarvi, Laine, or Matthews could be a real strong player for your franchise next season?
I feel that. They both played at the World Junior level this year, and they were excellent in that tournament. We've watched them the last couple of years, numerous times. We know their skill sets. I feel like they can step into the NHL next season and, be 15 to 20 goal scorers.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you.
Canucks with the 3rd best chance of landing the number 1 pick, and they're hoping to move up in that on Saturday.